Hello, today I will be discussing a KWL strategy for the SOL 5.8. So we'll be discussing math, which involves area, perimeter, and volume. So the student will A, solve practical problems that involve perimeter, area, and volume in standard units of measure, and B, differentiate among perimeter, area, and volume, and identify whether the application of the concept of perimeter, area, or volume is appropriate for the given situation. So just to turn over, this is what a KWL looks like. K stands for know, W can stand for want or wonder, and L stands for learned. So the students look at, what do I know? What do I already know about a subject? Jot some words down. What do I want to know? What do I wonder about? Still have questions about? Write that down. Then there's an activity that takes place, and then students will write down, hopefully, what they learned in answering these questions in this column. So for this strategy, kids will be reviewing this book. This is the best way I could show it to you. I was going to record my face and try to switch it around, but I do not have the technology for this. So this was the best way to show you. We have this in our list of books, so it's from here to there with Cusinary rods. Not really sure if I said that right, but this book is amazing. It gives everything you could need for area, perimeter, and volume. It's very hard to find volume, but kids will be having worksheets with that ahead of time, so they'll already know. Here's some context just to see all kinds of different things they have, but I just wanted to reference that students will have worked with this, have been learning about this before we do this. So the book I want to incorporate is called Mazes, and it's focusing more on perimeter and area. And I just wanted to read the description because I thought it was important. It says students will develop their math skills when engaged in reading about mazes from around the world. It uses real world examples, and it teaches geometry, calculating perimeter and area. It includes a glossary, an index, captions, a table of contents, vocabulary, reading comprehension skills. It has math charts, math problems, diagrams, and many things. And it also has math talk in there. So I think this is a great book. And like I said, this is the picture I have for you. I have it in our document, but this is just easier for me to show. This is a perfect book for them, I think. And you could do it as a whole group. You could read it together and discuss this KWL out loud. Or you could split them up into small groups, providing each of these kids with a book. So in this case, a group would get a book. And this even gives a little more detail. Like it talks about a maze in Japan and in Poland. So it's really fun, real life stuff. But for the small groups, you can have a couple students in a group. They can read the book, or you could print out a version. They could highlight important things. But we would read it out loud, but they would be in small groups. So we'd read a few pages, pause, let them communicate, let them talk about it. What do they know? What do they don't know? What are they learning? And then we would continue. So that was the book. But before the book, we obviously have to fill this KWL out first. So I would make this a whole group thing. Obviously, I don't have a piece of paper, but I think we know what a KWL worksheet would look like, something like this on a piece of paper. So each student would get their own, because this is not really necessarily a whole group part. I mean, it is, but I want students to individually be able to fill this out, because this is how their needs are going to be met by what they know personally and what they wonder and what they want to learn. So just an example question, what do I know? As students, what do you know about area? What do you know about perimeter? What do you know about volume? Oh, well, I know area is inside. Okay, and I also know perimeter is outside. And maybe I forgot what volume was, but I know for a fact that's what area and perimeter is. So you know that, you got it, you understand. Well, what do I wonder? Well, maybe I wonder about real life examples. Because I think as teachers, we always say, well, just use a real life example, and kids can, they always think of a pool or they think of a fence. Well, what else is there? There's more out there. There's more to learn, more to grasp. And this also opens up the floor for kids to share personal experiences. So I think this is a valid question. What real life examples could I use? So with reading this book, I think it's great because it thinks on a different perspective of mazes. How are we going to calculate perimeter and area with mazes? How does that work? What does that mean? And I think with all of the tools provided in the book, it is a perfect book to read, to know. This book is for, I believe, yes, 8 to 10 years. So that's around 4th through 5th, 3rd possibly, but around this age area. So I think it'd be a really good book to, like I said earlier, we can read aloud a few pages, have small group time, think about it, reflect, and finish out the book. So after that, I'm hoping, obviously, they would grasp a lot of concepts and a lot of real life examples. So if that was their main question, what did I learn? Oh, well, we can find it in mazes. And this is how we did da-da-da-da. Or I found out more about perimeter, and this is what I learned. Obviously, this is just an example. You never are sure what the kid is going to write, but I just wanted to give some example for that. So that is the strategy I would do. I definitely wanted kids to be engaged. I know this book engages me. I have not been able to read it, but I'm very intrigued by it, and I think it'd be very interesting to read and to see how area and perimeter work, and seeing just all the different real life examples, especially through mazes that we typically don't think about. So that is my KWL strategy for Math 5.8.